Ever wonder why certain ads seem to follow you everywhere? Or why politicians keep repeating the same talking points again and again? It's not an accident. Today, we'll explore the science behind why repetition is so powerful and how it shapes what you believe. Welcome to Professor P Teaches Marketing. I'm Professor P, and here you'll learn what the pros know. No degree required. Today's topic is why you keep seeing the same ads. The science of repetition and belief. You might think seeing or hearing the same thing over and over again would make you tired or annoyed. And yeah, sometimes that's true. But here's the thing. Repetition does something very powerful. It makes things feel more believable and trustworthy, even without any conscious thought. Marketers, politicians, and major brands use repetition strategically to embed their message deeply into your mind. This phenomenon is known in psychology as the mere exposure effect. The core idea here is that repeated exposure increases familiarity and people develop a preference for things they are familiar with. Simply put, the more you're exposed to something, whether it's a logo, a slogan, or even someone's face, the more you unconsciously like and trust it. Now, it's not always rational, it's automatic. Our brains interpret familiarity as safety. Now, here's an example of the mere exposure effect in action. Imagine a girl named Sarah, who's a recent college grad that moved to a new country and feels overwhelmed by all the unfamiliar stores and brands. She sees an ad over and over again for a local coffee shop showing cozy interiors, friendly staff, and a welcoming vibe. Now, initially she's unsure, not sure she likes the place, but Sarah eventually decides to give it a try, simply because it feels familiar and safe after seeing it about a dozen times. Now, her first visit matches her expectations, and now this coffee shop has become her go-to spot for comfort and coffee. That's the mere exposure in action. No other point of reference besides the ad being shown over and over again to develop this sense of familiarity. Now, in marketing, there's a concept called effective frequency, which states there's a minimum and maximum range of repeated exposures people will need before they decide to take action. Too few exposures means no results. Too many exposures means wasted resources. But marketers also know that repetition alone can become very annoying, which leads to disliking. That's why we use the repetition variation strategy, repeating the core message but varying how it's presented. Different visuals, different wording, but the same underlying idea. For example, have you noticed how Coca-Cola ads show different scenarios but always reinforce the core message of happiness and refreshment? Here's another layer most people don't consider: retention. Retention helps your message move from short-term memory into long-term memory. Psychologists call this the cognitive mapping process. Basically, when a person hears something once, it fades. But when it's repeated, especially in different formats, it becomes embedded in their mental map via these cognitive linkages that form. That's why advertisers repeat brand names over and over again in different settings. They're not just trying to annoy you, they're making you remember. I could do a whole video on this concept alone, so let me know if you're interested in the comments below. Now, beyond selling products, repetition deeply influences public opinion and belief. Political campaigns repeat slogans, media reinforces narratives, and over time, these repeated messages shape our beliefs and our opinions, often without us realizing it. Repetition turns messaging into familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. So how can you leverage repetition ethically and effectively in your marketing? First, clearly identify your core message. Second, strategically repeat it across various platforms and formats, slightly varied but always consistent in meaning. Finally, be mindful of frequency. Your goal is trust and familiarity. Avoid annoyance. But what if you're on the receiving end of repeating messages? How can you protect yourself from being influenced subconsciously? Here's how. First, actively recognize when messages are being repeated intentionally. Awareness alone will reduce automatic acceptance. Second, seek out diverse sources and perspectives. This can help counteract the mere exposure effect, which is a great segue into today's sponsor, Ground News. Tagline: see every side of every news story. Use promo code Prof.P sells out for 10% off your annual subscription. Just kidding, this channel is not sponsored by corporate promotions and will never be. But you can directly sponsor this video by booking a one-on-one consultation with yours truly for strategic guidance tailored to your business needs. Links in the description below. All right, where were we? Finally, if you want to defend yourself from being influenced subconsciously, take a moment to critically evaluate repeated messages. Ask yourself, why am I seeing this over and over again? And who benefits from me believing this stuff? Now, here's my call to action to you. Evaluate your marketing or communication efforts. Are you repeating your core message enough? Are you varying how you present them to keep things fresh and engaging? And if you're on the receiving end, take some time this week to actively identify and question repeated messages you encounter. Consider why these messages are being repeated and who benefits from you accepting them. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Let's discuss in the comments below. Now, if you found this video helpful, like if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it. I share practical insights every week. And if you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. I respond personally. Lastly, please share this video with someone who you think would benefit from my quick marketing lessons. I know you know someone, and you know that I know that you know someone. Remember, repetition isn't just about frequency, it's about building belief. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next lesson. Peace. All right. Take one. One take. So I gotta go like this. For being a star. Varying it. They always have that. Retention. Familiarity. Tailored to your business needs. Fuck, why did I scratch my nose? God damn it, that's so close. And you know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I know, you know that I know that